man. Shout out to everybody out there. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like, leave a comment, and let's get into this, man. So today we're gonna check out every dark type Pokemon explained, man. So big shout out to Lockstin and Noggins, man, for this video. The link will be in the description, man. So yeah, let me know if you're a fan of the dark type, which is a favorite dark type. If I had to pick a dark type, man, it has to be Espeon, right? Yeah, it has to be Espeon, man. So yeah, subscribe.
Right when you thought Pokemon were all happy-go-lucky, kind creatures who battle with honor, Gen 2 came around and introduced Dark-type Pokemon.
What's Gen 2?
But I mean, not all of them are dark, are they?
Gen 2.
Tyranitar is rather quite a bright green. So, that was the intro joke. But curiously now, what is so dark about them?
Was Espeon in Gen 2?
Nocturnal? Are they spooky?
Espeon, yeah, they were.
Well,
they
it's
were.
a fairly commonly known fact
and
that dark is just the
sorry,
English
yeah,
translation
Umbreon,
of the
Umbreon.
type. Well, translation.
Yeah, Umbreon is my
also
favorite dark type.
true.
Espeon is the psychic.
Localization fits better. Because in Japan, this type is officially called the evil type. Now,
What?
of course, philosophers have debated the concept of evil for millennia, but even still, in the context of Pokemon, are all of these dark-type Pokemon actually evil? Or perhaps are they just lacking in kind-spiritedness that the other Pokemon types have? But in that case, would that mean that there are no evil Pokemon that aren't dark-type?
That's actually a really great question.
Mr. Green 7.
I'm just dropping by to let everyone know that I just covered that very question in my latest video.
That sounds like an excellent video. I'll put links to it in the top card and in the description.
Thank you very much. I'll go ahead and get out of your amazing hair right now. Bye.
Thanks for stopping by. Now where was I? Oh yes, since True Green 7 has that covered, we can focus wholly on just Dark-type Pokemon, which is good because that would go against this type series anyway. So, let's go over the inspirations for every Dark-type Pokemon and explain why they are Dark or Evil type, or possibly why some of them probably shouldn't be. Let's start with the Alolan forms of Pokemon that weren't previously Dark-type, as I think some of them explain the typing best. Let's look at Meowth and Persian and their Dark-type Alolan counterparts. Meowth is based on the Japanese Lucky Cat, said to bring good fortune, and Meowth's signature move, Payday, does just that.
Yeah.
Both forms love
though,
collecting
yeah.
coins, but here is where the Pokédex shows a distinct difference. Meowth's dex entries state that it is nocturnal and fights with Murkrows a lot, and that its favorite thing is happily collecting coins.
Never knew that.
Whereas Alolan Meowth's dex entries state that it too loves collecting coins, but it is selfish and overly prideful, and pride is a deadly sin. When either Meowth evolves into Persian, we get two somewhat mean cats, but Alolan Persian is still extremely prideful, and its preferred tactics are sucker punches and blindside attacks. It's so brutal that it tortures its weakened prey rather than finishing them off. And though that's pretty normal for most cats, in Pokemon's case, that's pretty messed up. Clearly, there is something evil going on behind those eyes. Rattata and Raticate are the same.
I didn't
While
know
their
that.
normal forms Pokedex entries state that they are basically rats, their Dark-type counterparts Dex entries state that they infiltrate and steal food from people's homes. They love food so much that they get fat. And gluttony is another deadly sin. And
Yeah.
curiously, these whiskers are designed to look like Japanese thief masks. And then we get to Grimer and Muck, comparing their dicks... comparing their dicks. Comparing their dex entries doesn't tell us much. To summarize all of them, these Pokemon are made of toxins, and their toxin is gross. And that's about everything the Pokedex states. Heck, the one thing in all of the dex entries about temperament says that Alolan Muck is unexpectedly quiet and friendly. That's not very evil of you at all. What gives? Granted, it also says that if it is not fed, it will get mad, break furniture, and then eat that. But if you push literally any Pokemon or any animal to starvation, I'm sure they'd get pretty upset. So I've got a small theory about this one. I think Game Freak gave Muck and Grimer the Dark type just so that they would get bonus damage from their new moves, Bite and Crunch, both Dark type, since these new forms of Muck and Grimer have teeth now, and that's kind of their whole thing. So now you have some direct examples of what the Dark type is all about. Both strong and not so strong examples. So now let's go over the rest of the Pokemon, starting with Pokemon that are Dark type based on the way that they fight or hunt. By that I mean, a good example is an honorable fighter versus a street punk. One will win through training and strength alone. Another will throw sand in your face, bite you, and kick you in the throat or nuts with no regard for your future.
You don't fight with honor. No. He did.
And with that, Scraggy and Scrafty are perfect examples of this. Found in Unova, which is based on New York, these Pokemon are designed after hoodlums, fighting with shady tactics over turf. It's said they headbutt anyone that looks at them wrong, and the saggier their pants, the more respect they garner from their gang. When they evolve, they gain this punk-looking mohawk crest. They taunt their opponents by spitting, and they don't feel bad ganging up on a single other Pokemon that ventured into the wrong territory. Definitely a gang of low-pantsed bullies. Poniard and Bisharp are also good examples. Bisharps will lead their groups of Poniards into the attack of food, and they are pitiless. They will shred their prey to pieces. This war-loving species spends its free time preparing for the next fight by sharpening their blades, and they are designed after samurai bandits after all. Samurais that turned bad. While at first, Volibee and Mandibuzz don't seem much more evil than your typical vulture, delving deeper you can start to pick up on some things. Unlike real vultures, they don't just eat carcasses. They actually hunt out the youngest and weakest Pokemon and rip into them and hurl them into their nest made of bones. Sharpened bones. They also wear the sharpened bones of their prey as a means of intimidation and as a trophy, as they are proud killers, which can be seen as a sort of evil, I suppose. Carvana is literally a piranha. They are ravenous and shred their prey to shreds in minutes, just like real piranha. So again, they aren't evil per se, just very, very hungry. And piranhas. Sharpedo, though, is known as the bully of the sea, and being a bully is pretty mean, and also tears his prey to shreds before devouring it just like a shark. Cacturne is a nocturnal cactus based loosely on a scarecrow. By being scary and nocturnal predators, they got the dark typing. They prey on sleeping and exhausted Pokemon in the desert. Pangoro is an interesting case. They are based on Japanese pompadour hooligans and street punks. But like many of them in popular media, they mainly only act and fight tough. Pangoro's Pokedex entries point towards this too. It has a violent temperament and prefers to talk with its fists, and isn't afraid to fight dirty. However, it does not put up with bullies, and will defend anyone who's a victim of bullying by beating the bullies half to death. Straight to the point, anti-hero vigilante justice. Crocodile, though interestingly not its previous forms, are extremely violent. They were given the name Intimidation Pokemon for a reason, and their Japanese name directly translates to Evil Gorile, which is a type of crocodile. And like real crocodilia, they are vicious with their prey, clamping down and twisting to rip the prey in half. Curiously, Crocodile might also be inspired from Sobek, an Egyptian god with a crocodile head known for violence and robbery, hence the crook in Crocodile's name. And unlike previous evolutions, its eye membranes are spiked up and out, and sunglasses of that shape are often associated with gang leaders and criminals in anime and manga. Honchkrow is the head honcho of a gang of Murkrow, which are referred to as its goons. It's deceivious and merciless, and commands its Murkrow to fight and find food for it. In the wild, the only time they do the fighting is to deal the finishing strike, for the satisfaction of ending the battle. Murkrow, however, its previous evolution, fits better into our next category, which are Pokemon that are Dark-type more so because of their behavior. Meaning, while the Dark type may be applied somewhat for the ways they fight, it better reflects the way they act day to day. Murkrow, like real crows, love shiny things and are known to steal them, and steal food.
Oh, so that's what it
they
be
are
for
said
me
to bring
out.
bad luck wherever they go. Sneasel is a weasel, and like weasels, they love stealing eggs from nests and eating them. It's like eating a baby, which is pretty evil. And its evolved form is said to be much, much more intelligent, but also much, much more devious. And they hunt in extra-coordinated packs, and can communicate their evil plots via writing and scratch marks. Crawdaunt is very aggressive in nature, and is very violent as well. And that's by Pokemon standards even. It's very aggressive and highly territorial, and will intimidate and possibly even fight any other living thing it sees. And viciously. Purloin and Liepard are devious thieves through and through. They play cute and innocent,
Man,
but
these
they are
things are
true
evil,
cat
man.
burglars. Another cat, Incineroar, is said to be prideful and have a violent, selfish disposition. They are based on heel wrestlers, the bad guy wrestlers from things
Yeah,
like
that look
WWE
like
and
Kane.
SmackDown. Staged fights for the sake of entertainment. And that's why it's dark instead of fighting type. Heels are meant to be intimidating and fight dirty, mean. not necessarily good fighters. Zorua and Zoroark are illusionary tricksters. They have the ability to create illusions and make you think they are something they are not.
That's
One Pokedex
wild.
entry states that if a usually very talkative child suddenly becomes quiet, it may have been replaced by a Zorua. So they may even be kidnappers and fans of identity theft. Both are pretty evil. Sableye is based on the Hopkinsville Goblin, and goblins have always been mischievous little devils. These guys live in caves, and are said to be able to steal the spirits of people when their eyes burn with a sinister glow, which is pretty messed up. They also love to eat carbinks. Drapion is very prideful of its stretch. Pride being a deadly sin, of course.
Yeah.
It will also attack anyone it finds crossing the desert, just
Not gonna lie, there's
to
some
show
very
off
strong
its skills.
Pokemon.
Hoopa is much deeper. It's a mischievous trickster, first of all, and if you've seen the movie, its Unbound form certainly is selfish and evil. Hoopa Unbound's design has a
Wait,
few
I didn't see the
elements that
movie.
closely emulates common designs of demons, and either form could be taking inspiration from Nezha, a mischievous trickster deity worshipped in Taoism and Chinese folk religion,
Oh.
and is commonly referred to as a trickster deity. Nezha is often depicted holding rings, and sometimes depicted with multiple
I
arms.
thought more
Just
Egyptian.
like Hoopa.
Exotic.
And also, just like Hoopa, it has the ability to use its hoops to transport things. Houndoom
Oh.
is spooky and evil looking, and its howls are said to bring the Grim Reaper closer. It
No
strikes fear
freaking
into other
way.
Pokemon, and it tends to hunt in packs and show no mercy. Also, if you make it angry, it's capable of causing burns that will not only scar over, but be permanently agonizing.
That's
The pain
wild.
will never go away.
It's a
And
dangerous
that's pretty
world, man.
messed up. That's very evil. Wow. Its previous evolution, though,
Eternal
seems to fit
fire.
more to the next category. That being Pokemon that were given the Dark type more so for their design rather than their behavior or fighting style. Houndour is just not that evil at all. I mean, they look the part, and they evolve into evil, but the only thing really evil about Houndour themselves is that they also hunt in coordinated packs,
Packs,
like a
yeah.
basic wild dog. There's nothing evil about that at all. Though I guess they do look mean and intimidating, so there's that. Greninja is also not that inherently dark
Yeah.
or evil. The Pokedex mentions it likes toying with its enemies in battle, but most Pokemon happen to like battling. No, in Greninja's case, I believe it was given the Dark type based on the fact that it's designed to be a ninja. Those dark, rebellious assassins known for stealth, and by ending lives through stealth and deceit rather than through honorable combat.
Okay.
Also, it having the Dark type made it balanced with the secondary typings of the other starter Pokemons of that generation. But as a follow-up to some Pokemon with weaker reasons being Dark type, let's now go over the inherently evil Pokemon. Those Pokemon that truly are dark, evil beasts. Yvel in Yvel's name comes from the Old English-speaking word evil. And being the Pokemon of death and destruction, that certainly is fitting. Its design is said to be inspired somewhat from carrion birds, birds that eat corpses, such as vultures and crows, and I suppose I can see that. If a vulture died and its body was taken over by devil's fingers, a type of fungus known for smelling even more putrid than death itself, the Pokedex states that it's capable of absorbing the life force of Pokemon just by spreading its wings, which obviously is quite evil indeed. Dinos, Violet, and Hydreigon are interesting. Dino starts off as a dinosaur with an emo haircut. It causes itself a lot of self-harm, constantly tagging nearby objects. But when it sprouts a second head is when it really starts showing its mean-spiritedness. Neither head likes each other, and they are constantly fighting. And they are known as the hostile Pokemon after all, constantly upset and attacking things. Then it evolves into Hydreigon, which is said to be brutal and devours everything in its path. Anything that moves seems like a foe to it. The world is its enemy.
No
and on top of
way.
this, the inspirations for this line of Pokemon are Yamada no Orochi, Zme Gorinich, and the Lernaean Hydra. All three of them evil antagonists in their legends. Inkay may look super cute, but it hides its nefariousness well. Its Japanese name directly translates to demon squid, and it is capable of hypnotizing and draining the willpower of enemy Pokemon to bide it time to evolve into its true form, Malamar.
No
Malamar
way.
is truly evil. I mean, Malamar looks like a Power Ranger super.
No, it looked like
And
that
Pokedex
evil
says that when it comes to
lady
strong
from
hypnosis, there is an endless number
Little
of people
Mermaid.
who utilize Malamar for their nefarious deeds. In the anime, there was a whole episode dedicated to an evil Malamar bent on world domination with its hyper-intelligence and especially powerful mind-controlling abilities. Malamar's evil, The Ultra Beast Guzzlord also looks like a Power Rangers villain.
Yeah.
And this one is all about gluttony. It's constantly destroying and eating everything, no matter what it is. Mountains, buildings, people, and its droppings are never found, as if its interior were a black hole. It would certainly take an evil, gluttonous being to have absolutely no regard for what it guzzles down. Gyarados may be a mean-looking sea monster, but it isn't dark type, it's water flying. But when it mega evolves, it becomes water dark. And the reasoning is quite simple. According to the Pokedex, Mega Evolution also affects its brain, leaving no other function except for its destructive instinct to burn everything to cinders. So basically, while Gyarados normally is easily angered and goes on rampages, it doesn't just do so willy-nilly because it isn't inherently evil, but upon Mega Evolving, it can think of nothing else but destruction, becoming inherently evil. Until the end of the battle when it returns back to its normal form. Tyranitar is a big bully. Based loosely on Godzilla, this Pokemon guards its mountain territory well and will occasionally come down just to pick a fight with something. Makes sense considering its Japanese name comes from the words savage, barbarian, and hate. This impudent Pokemon is one you do not want to mess with. Nuzleaf and Shiftry are both based on Tengu, Japanese goblins known for their long noses, ability to read minds, and cruel tricks. Pretty simple. Spiritomb is made up of 108 evil spirits bound to a keystone. It is said that their constant mischief and misdeeds led to them all being locked in there. So it must have been especially bad for people to take such drastic action against it. Darkrai is a shadow monster, so fitting of the literal dark type, but is it evil? Many say so, as it flies through the skies, giving people and Pokemon horrible, horrible nightmares. Though, the Pokedex states that it means no harm. So it's sort of a cursed existence, really. It has this evil ability that it cannot stop from happening, and it doesn't want it to be happening. Sad. Which segues into our final category. Pokemon that really are not dark, as in evil, much at all. Maybe they have a few elements here and there, but compared to the rest, there's not much. Umbreon seems to be more literally dark type rather than evil type.
Yeah.
It likes the moon, it hides in shadows, waiting to attack its prey, so it's like any other nocturnal predator. The only thing vaguely evil about it are that its rings that glow in the dark are kind of ominous. Kind of scary, I guess. Stunky and Skunktank aren't all that evil either. Sure, they smell terrible and will ruin your whole day, but nothing in their Pokedex mentions them being bad or anything. The closest thing is Skunktank in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon being the leader of a group of bully bandits. But otherwise, these Pokemon are just strong skunks. I guess it's just really mean to make someone smell bad all day. Poochyena and Mightyena are also more so just generic pack dogs or pack hyenas. They hunt in packs and ambush their prey. One will scare the prey with its spooky fangs and the prey will then run into an ambush. So again, basic pack animal. Not really evil. I mean, they gotta eat. Sandile and Krokorok, unlike their final evolution, aren't all that dark or evil at all. Their Pokedex entries are all about their special eyes, their body temperature, and how they like to bury themselves in sand and live in groups. Nothing about a violent nature at all. They may be dark just because they are a bit meaner than most predators. Or just for type balancing's sake, since its final evolution is pretty evil. And Absol just gets a bad rep. It lives in the mountains and can sense natural disasters and impending danger. So it will come down from the mountains to try to warn people and Pokemon in the area about the upcoming natural disaster. But because it's known to do this, people began to think it caused the natural disaster. Meaning, people think it's evil. So why is it actually dark type then? At the very least, to balance it out, it could be normal dark. But no! I smell a theory there. So this last group of Pokemon, they're not really dark at all. All I'm really getting at is that there are other non-dark Pokemon, or non-evil type Pokemon, that are significantly more evil than some of these.
Sure.
And for more...
Hey guys, so that was the video, man. Appreciate you guys. Yeah. Dark type, man. So yeah, dark type. Some are evil, some are not evil. And some, yeah, like more I watch these videos, pretty much it's like some of these Pokemon are pretty much mischaracterized. Like they are in like they're assigned a certain type that they pretty much are not. So I'm not sure what's the reason behind that, man. But it is what it is, man. So at least we get to learn about this stuff, man. Big shout out to Lockstin Noggins for this video, man. The link will be in the description. With that, it was out of here. And definitely check out my Pokemon playlist.